Hello and welcome to the Breath of Gold Festival. I am your host, Adrienne Rivera, and today I'm super excited to be here with Eileen Chansey, who is an energy healer and she's also a spiritual coach. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here. So today we're diving into the heart chakra, all things, breath work, and really how we can create a deeper connection with the heart. But before we go into that, I would love for you to share a little bit about your background and how you got into energy work.
Absolutely. So, yes, as Adrienne said, my name is Eileen. I am an energy healer now, but actually, previously, I was a nurse. So, I dealt with all things physical, the body, the organs. I was in med surg at a Trauma One hospital, and I dealt with children. I was at a pediatric hospital, and that was 10 times harder in a lot of ways because just think about all the intense situations you can have that makes you end up in a hospital, and yet it's a child going through it. Whew, you need to be a really special person to do that kind of work. But I was even myself getting drained, and I started looking into healing, and I fell into Reiki and then what's called integrative energetic medicine. And in doing this practice of energy medicine, I learned what was missing from the medical field. And it's that emotional piece. And I learned how the nervous system harbors a lot in the body when it comes to emotions. So, as much as I had appreciation for the physical, it was just that missing side of things. And so now I own my own practice. I founded Harmony and Healing, and I have clients on my own, and I love it.
That's amazing. I love that so much. And I love that you have the background of the medical field and then you combine it with the energetics. That just gives such a holistic approach. And it's so unique as well. Yeah, super important stuff. So
Absolutely.
I would love for you to dive in, sharing a little bit about energetic attachment and how that relates with the heart chakra.
Oh, sure. So, and I want to clarify with everyone here what an energetic attachment is, because when we think of the word attachment, sometimes we just think it's attraction. And this is actually, when I'm speaking about these specific energy attachments, it's something negative. So, guys and gals out there, if you've had a breakup, if you've even had a loss, you can energetically attach to someone, and it's depleting for the both of you. And for whatever reason, well, it makes sense, obviously, because the heart centers are center for love and compassion. Oftentimes, where I find the energy attachment, it's right in the chest. It's always often right there. It can be anywhere else, the third eye, the throat. I've had it in different areas, even off of someone's shoulder. But oftentimes, with the relationship connection, it's at the heart. And so, in using techniques like breath work, that can help release and detach from that person. And it's always beneficial for both parties. A lot of clients think that detaching is going to be a bad thing, but it's bringing your energy back to you and their energy back to them. It's really incredible.
And what happens if it like grows back, like the cords grow back? Yeah.
Yes, yes. So what I find often is it's weaker and weaker each time, but you actually, there's a few ways you can actually imagine the detaching. And what's funny is, even if I'm not doing breath work and I have a client detach, I'll say, breathe your energy back in. I'll still
Mhm.
have them use the breath to accumulate the energy back to themselves. And so there are times where an attachment's so strong, and that exactly is what happens. It reattaches. I've had clients have to detach 10 times in a day before it finally
Wow.
sticks, because it's almost as if your body goes back to, I don't even want to say autopilot, but
Mhm.
default mode.
That makes
right?
a lot of sense. Yeah, I went to a chiropractor once and he's like, be careful because we just adjusted things, but your body's used to being in a certain position and it may go back very quickly until your body relearns. So that makes a lot of sense as well. I'm curious about, like you were saying, like often with breakups, we have this negative energetic attachment. What about the people that, let's say they've been in a long-term relationship and maybe are codependent? Like, how does that show up in the heart chakra or the person's energetics?
Yeah, it's the same exact way.
Mm,
So with codependency, we feel like that's just, oh, I just really need them. But it's actually just as toxic as someone who's even abusive, let's say, mentally or emotionally to you. That is still, it doesn't look any different in the world of energy. It's
wow.
still depleting.
Mm,
Yet we we crave that one versus we may want to run away from the other one that's causing a different type of trauma.
mhm.
So it's kind of crazy to think, wow, I'm actually wanting something that's toxic, but it's
Fascinating.
mhm.
Yeah. So for people listening with that, I'm sure a lot of people here are in a marriage, maybe they're like, am I like too dependent on my partner? What is it that you recommend to your clients to have those healthy boundaries and also to start with self-love?
Sure. Well, first is sensing what is yours versus what's theirs. Because oftentimes when we have that codependent attachment, we don't realize that we might even be just feeling what they're feeling. And so sometimes pausing and just asking the question, is this mine? And talking to the heart directly, you can even just place your hand in the center of your chest and focus underneath where your hand is on the sensation, that weight of that pressing, and just asking, what do I need to know? What do I need to know? And just sitting. And sometimes not getting any information is information. It means you're disconnected from your own heart.
Mm,
Yeah.
that is a good thing to share because I think a lot of the times people say, I don't get any messages.
It's still a message. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
still a message.
So,
Absolutely.
what would you say to people out there who are watching this and maybe they've just paused and they've asked the question, am I like, and they've not gotten an answer and they're disconnected from their heart? How do you restart that connection with your own heart?
One of them can be breath work.
Yes. I love that answer.
Absolutely. Yes, no, really, with breath work, you are really tapping into life source, breath and air. And this is what's feeding us in a very different way. But it's reminding you in that tapping into life source, you're reminded you're not separate from God.
Mhm.
It's not source, the universe, that, supply is not somewhere far off. It is right here. So
Mhm.
I would start with a breath work or even meditation, but something that gets you grounded and present. And for anyone who has struggled with that, feels like it's just not going to work for me, it just takes practice. The mind has to have exercise like something physical. It's the same thing.
Mhm. Building that muscle, repetitions, putting in the work for sure. I
Absolutely.
love that you shared that because I've definitely, the times that I've felt love strongly, like very, like so strongly that I'm like crying to the point of like broken open heart, has been in breath work. It is like a heightened sense where before maybe I was feeling like, what is the purpose of life or just that disconnection. And then
Right.
it creates that oneness. And I've even found that breath work has been my biggest teacher of abundance. Like before, I always felt like things are outside of us. Like we have to go get something, we have to go learn something. And when we come back to the breath, we remember that we're overflow, right?
Exactly. That's so
Uh,
true. Because when we do that breath work, we are tapping into our heart, the actual organ itself as well. It has its own sensory system like our brain. And so, if anyone's heard of heart brain synchronization, when you get the waves of both your heart and brain synchronized at the same level, that's when we can tap into our subconscious. So we release and we can feel that love and joy you're talking about, or we can manifest because we're directly talking to our subconscious. And so we're creating it, that flow of abundance towards us. But a lot of people don't know that the heart has sensory nerves, or neurites is what they call it. And so it senses in a different way than the brain, but it has its own system. So there's oftentimes we're working at two different levels. So tapping into that and you getting that overwhelm, I'm sure you were in that heart brain synchronization for sure.
That's powerful. And what would you say to anyone listening here who maybe they've tried breath work a couple of times and they're like, wow, this heart brain synchronization sounds amazing. And I don't feel like I got there. I feel like I kind of just fell asleep or zoned out and they didn't feel the magic of breath work yet. Do you have any wisdom for how to get there?
Beautiful. Well, I think number one, there's more than one type of breath work. And so I think that it could actually depend on the person. Maybe they have one form that they've only tried and it's not the one that works for them. But also, if it really depends on how relaxed and present you can get. So, for someone who needs to maybe do something else before breath work, they may be stressed out and have a million things on their mind, and they may need to meditate or even just take a relaxing bath or something because they're so heightened in their nervous system and fight or flight that they can't relax and tap in. When you get into your subconscious, you do that in stillness, not in that stressed out mode that we're all running around living and working in day to day. So whatever you need to do, guys, relax. The more you can relax and soften, the more you're going to get out of breath work.
Yeah, that is such a good point. And I love that you're talking about relaxing because I feel like in our day and age, we need that. Like, I think a lot of people here have such a busy life and things get busy, whether it's kids, whether it's business, life in general, things pile on. And I think one of the biggest things that breathwork can teach us, and it's something that we get taught again and again and again, is surrender. That like exhale, the really like letting go. And I feel like that's really the key to receiving. So do you have any wisdom on how someone can learn how to surrender and really let go if they tend to be, let's say their set point in their nervous system is like a little bit higher and they actually kind of crave that busy on the go, like stress, fight or flight mode? I feel like you have something for this. Yeah.
Yes. Well, have you heard of the vagus nerve before?
Yes, of course.
So what a lot of people don't know is how much it's intertwined with so many other organs. And so in the vagus nerve, that's where, that fight or flight stimulation can really be affected. So in the back of the head, that's where, you really get like the start of it. Then it almost like branches out and intertwines. So what people can do is visualize or even just focus right there at the base of the head. So even in breath work, you can be having this visualization of a waterfall or some kind of a flow. It can be light energy. I tell people you can't do this wrong. So however, whatever you want to do, however it works for you, some sort of waterfall flowing energy down and just kind of melting away, but starting at the base of the head and just flowing down throughout your torso will really make a difference. You are consciously tapping into your vagus nerve, whether you believe you are or not. That is a huge one. As well as for letting go, that's so much in the exhale. That exhale is letting go. Inhale is the receiving. So for people who need to relax, you might need to release some stuff. That's a good place to focus.
I love that. In the circular connected breath that I lead, I often see that people will have like really forceful exhales if they don't want to let go or if it's hard to surrender. And the more they can think about like consciously just making them so easy, just like, wow, I'm watching the breath flow out of me like clouds through the sky. It's just like so gentle. Like that really does help with the surrender as well. So I love that you brought in that exhale.
Well, that could even be the result of it. Because they've released, now they're seeing it lighter too, right? So it's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah,
We don't
so
know.
true. That's amazing. I love that. So is there anything that you want to share around how breathwork can be used to manifest, how it can be used to tap into our heart chakra?
Sure, yes. So when it comes to that, so the heart chakra is in the middle of our chest, and this is, you can do that through visualization during breath work. You can see the color is green. You can see it as light. You can see it as like a portal opening up, expanding out, or maybe filling up. For people, like, they're more intuitive than they realize. So for someone who needs it to come out, maybe they've been withholding love. For someone who needs it to come in, maybe they've been rejecting love. So with your imagination, do what you think is needed with this area. As well as, you can't really go wrong because you have the heart organ, you have the lungs. So you're releasing a lot. And one of the things I did want to add was, with when it comes to the lungs, there's grief and sadness is often held in that area. In Eastern medicine, they believe that's where we hold it the most. So we are consciously, even if we're just bringing attention playfully with imagining a color or light or whatever, we are helping all the surrounding organs of the chest.
Mm, powerful. Yeah. And I love what you said about the grief and sadness, because that can be such heavy emotions that we hold into our body. And I know you've been to my breath before, like everyone cries. It's like a thing. It feels so good though, to just
Yeah.
processing that and moving energy. Are there any other practices that you really like that people can integrate into their own daily practice beyond breath work that can support them in releasing whatever emotions they need to let go in order to be more connected to their heart chakra?
Honestly, I love me some affirmations.
I love it. What are your favorite ones?
Well, and I will say, some people don't even, they don't like it, and I think you can do them really wrong. But what I would love for everyone to realize is that we're affirming all day long. That's all our thoughts are. So you're either affirming what you've been used to affirming that's negative, or you can consciously choose to put something in place of that and train it in to where it's just normal thought. It's not an affirmation anymore, right?
Mhm.
So, oh, what are my favorite ones? Anything that is I am blank. I am is just so powerful. So I am love, I am abundance, I am whatever it is you're trying to bring in is huge. Um, and then if it's, let's say we went back to the attachments and you're struggling in your marriage or you're dealing with a breakup, just saying the sentence that you want to be true and saying it over and over again and feeling the heart as you're doing that, like saying, I have a perfect marriage, or I am loved by everyone, or anything like that that you're trying to attract and create. Um, I almost like, sometimes the more profound doesn't actually work. For someone to say, abundance is my birthright and it's my going to be my natural inheritance or something, for someone else saying money is my friend actually might work better for them. So I would ask people to play with affirmations more and
Mhm.
incorporate it and use it, make it work for you. When it feels the best, that's the phrase you want to use.
I love that so much. Yes. And breath work and mindfulness as well can show us, like, shining the light on what beliefs are currently energetically in our field that we don't want to believe. And then we can ask ourselves, like, what is the opposite of that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to add in terms of how to identify any beliefs that are in your blind spot that you don't even know you're carrying?
Ooh, that's when you ask the heart. That's when you might be surprised what comes out, really and truly. I've had it say some things. It's really interesting how organs, they have personality. They have different energies. So the heart has flat out told me some stuff where I'm like, oh wow, okay, I hear you. Like, and so asking is there, or even directly to the subconscious, what do I need to know, or what am I missing? And that
Mhm.
pause, that stillness, seeing what surfaces, be very surprised. Yeah.
Powerful. Yeah, I'm excited for people to integrate that into their bodies and start to have that deeper connection and relationship, just feeling into what wants to come through. I know for me, what I've been really practicing is asking my inner child what she needs. And
Beautiful.
that has been so powerful. And boy, does she talk to me a lot. She wants my attention. She's like pulling on my shoulder, like, it's time to play, like, stop working. So funny. Yeah, they definitely
That's
have personalities.
oh God, yeah. It's so
Yeah,
true.
that's awesome. I love that. Is there any other wisdom coming through that you want to share around the breath or the heart before we get into your incredible free offering that you have for us?
Sure. Overall, I feel like a lot of us are in a state of forgetfulness, forgetting who we are and how powerful we really are, and what you can really attract to yourself in life, what you can become. Breath work can really get you back to that. Energy work can really get you back to that. So, reminding yourself by taking even just 20 minutes a day to feed your soul, whatever that means for you. For some people, it might be yoga. For others, it might be playing with their children, whatever it means. But if you consciously make the effort to feed your soul for 15 to 20 minutes a day, you remember that you're life source and that it's right here.
I love that so much. Yes. And what I heard through what you were just sharing is like connecting back to what you loved when you were growing up, right?
Mm.
Like if you love dancing, asking yourself, when was the last time you danced? If you always used to sing, when was the last time that you sang? And really giving that to yourself. I was having a conversation recently with a friend and she's like, I always used to sing. And I said, when's the last time you sang? She said, I couldn't tell you. It's been years. And it was like, no, sing today.
And so the same thing with the chicken or the egg, which comes first. For me, the more I started to tap into my soul, and it was through meditation, but I have been getting so much dancing coming into my life that as a result has shown up. So I want people to flow with it more so than I don't want them to feel like it's a responsibility, like I should dance because I used to love it, right? No,
Mhm.
like just tapping into your soul, whatever that means, then more of whatever you are needing is going to flow to you. So I swear, I've had, even just last week, there were 5 days that I've had some partner dancing gigs with me and my husband and opportunities to do.
That's amazing.
And
I
I've
love
always loved to dance, but it will come to you.
that. That's powerful. That's amazing. Congratulations on that. I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So you have an incredible, generous, free offering for our audience that has the opportunity to change people's lives. So I would love for you to share what that is and who you recommend it for.
Awesome, awesome. So, everyone, I am offering a free 30-minute healing session. So, doing energy work, and I don't even want to put specifics on it because I want to be able to flow in whatever direction that you need. So, anyone dealing with feeling like you're blocked in whatever it may be, a relationship, with money, feeling like you've tried so many different things, feeling at a loss, then this is for you, because I promise you, you haven't tried my way because it's such a combination of different things and it's so tailored to you. So get your free half hour, friends. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
that's amazing. Thank you so much for offering that. That is so generous. And
You're welcome.
that'll be linked right below this video. So find a time that works with you for your one-on-one session with Eileen, and it's going to be powerful.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for having me, Adrian.
Yes, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.